Have you ever walked into a stranger's mansion and found a baby screaming so hard it shook your soul? She only came to clean. But when the black woman picked up the millionaire's child, something happened that not even the father could believe. And by the end of that day, his entire world would change. Forever. It was just another Tuesday for Angela Davis, a 34-year-old single mother working 2 jobs in downtown Chicago. The city buzzed with life outside, but inside Angela's heart, there was only exhaustion. She dropped her 5-year-old daughter Imani at daycare at 6:45 a.m., barely kissed her goodbye, and hustled across town to the newest home on her cleaning schedule. The Wexler Estate, a sleek glass and steel mansion overlooking the river. A place she didn't belong. Or so she thought. She entered through the side door as instructed, with her gloves, mop, and quiet determination, and was instantly struck by the eerie silence of the home. No music, no footsteps, just stillness, until a faint, gut-wrenching cry pierced through the air. Angela froze. That was no television. It was a real baby, and it sounded desperate. She followed the sound upstairs, hesitant, tiptoeing. And there, in a lavish but cold nursery, lay a baby boy, red-faced, screaming, tears streaking down chubby cheeks. He couldn't have been more than 9 months old. Angela looked around. No nanny, no parent, just this innocent child, bawling in a crib too large for his tiny frame. Her heart clenched. She glanced at her watch. She shouldn't interfere. But the baby reached out his trembling hand toward her. And something inside her shattered. She picked him up. Gently, slowly, carefully. The baby's cries didn't stop right away. But as she rocked him, humming an old lullaby her grandmother used to sing, the sobs softened. The tension in his tiny body melted. And within minutes, he was asleep, head resting on Angela's shoulder, arms clinging to her like she was the only safe thing in the world. And that's when she heard it. Slow clap. From the doorway. She turned, startled, and locked eyes with a tall, sharply dressed man in a gray suit. Graham Wexler, CEO of a billion-dollar investment firm, father to the baby, and by all media accounts, a cold, calculating machine of a man. But in that moment, he didn't look powerful. He looked confused. "Who are you?" he asked. Angela shifted the sleeping child in her arms. "I'm the cleaner, Angela. Your company booked me." He walked forward, slowly, eyes on his son. "He never comes like that," Graham said under his breath. "Not with anyone. Not even me." Angela didn't respond. She didn't know what to say. Graham finally took the baby. Awkwardly, nervously. The boy stirred. And immediately began to fuss. Angela stepped back. But Graham surprised her. "Wait," he said. "Can you stay a little longer?" Angela blinked. "To clean." He hesitated. "To help. With him." And just like that, the walls began to crack. Over the next 2 hours, Angela showed him how to hold his son so he felt secure. How to sing softly when he whimpered. How to mix the formula correctly. Because yes, the nanny had quit 3 days ago and he had no idea how to feed his own child. It was strange, intimate, and surreal. And somewhere between the bottle and the burp, Graham asked, "Do you have kids?" Angela smiled. "A daughter. Money. She's 5. Fierce as fire." He chuckled. Genuinely. And for the first time, the mansion didn't feel so cold. Later that week, Graham did something Angela never expected. He asked her to come back, not to clean, but to care for his son during a crucial investor meeting. "Just a few hours," he said. "He likes you." Angela agreed. But she had one condition. "Let me bring Imani." And so she did. The moment Imani walked into the mansion, everything changed. She didn't flinch at the gold statues or glass staircases. She marched straight over to the baby, gave him a tickle and said, "I'm your big sister for today. Got it?" The baby giggled. Angela laughed. And Graham stared. Softly, longingly. By the end of the day, Graham was on the floor building blocks with both kids. His meeting had gone well. But more importantly, he looked happy, like he hadn't in years. He turned to Angela and said quietly, "I forgot what this felt like." A week later, Angela returned home to her small apartment to find something strange at her door. Wrap box. With a card. Inside, brand new school supplies, toys, and a pristine school uniform for Imani. The note read, "For the fierce little firecracker. She changed my son's world. GW." Angela teared up. It had been years since anyone gave to her, without asking for something in return. But it didn't stop there. One afternoon, while Angela was feeding the baby, Graham appeared with a proposal. "You've done more for my son in 3 weeks than any nanny or therapist has in months," he said. "I want to offer you a permanent role here, as his caregiver. And if you're open, help me with Imani too. I'd like to sponsor her education." Angela's mouth dropped. This wasn't just a job. It was a life change. A door no one had ever opened for her. "Why me?" she asked, voice cracking. He looked at her, steady and sincere. "Because you didn't just care for my son. You cared for me. You reminded me what being a father should feel like." Angela took the job. And for the first time in her life, she had security, safe home, a new beginning. Graham transformed too. He started coming home early, learned to cook with Angela and Imani, even started volunteering at a children's center in memory of his late wife, something he had buried under years of grief. People in his circle said he'd gone soft. But he just smiled and said, "No, I finally got strong." Angela often thought about that day, when she picked up a crying baby in a silent mansion. She thought she was just cleaning. But what she really did was heal a home, with a lullaby, a gentle touch, and a heart big enough to love someone else's child like her own. And sometimes, that's all it takes. One kind moment, one brave choice. Change everything.